Amidst the silent clutter of a forgotten antique shop, sunlight struggled through a grimy window, illuminating motes of dust, dancing in the air like tiny, lost souls. It was here, nestled between a tarnished silver locket and a stack of yellowed postcards, that Arthur first laid eyes on it. The pocket watch was a relic from another era, its brass casing intricately engraved with celestial patterns that seemed to shift and writhe under his gaze. The glass was cloudy, the hands frozen, but a strange, almost imperceptible pull drew him in. He picked it up, the cool metal a stark contrast to the warmth of his palm. A faint, rhythmic, ticking, echoing knot in the quiet shop, but deep within his own mind. He had to have it. Back in the sterile quiet of his apartment, the watch felt like an intruder from a darker, more mysterious world. With a click, he wound the small, ornate crown. The world outside his window. A bustling city street filled with the hurried footsteps of strangers and the low growl of traffic fell utterly silent. A pigeon, captured mid-flight, hung in the air as if suspended by an invisible thread. A plume of steam from a street vendor's cart froze into a delicate, crystalline sculpture. Arthur felt a giddy surge of power, a laugh escaping his lips. The watch could stop time. The following days became a blur of playful mischief and personal gain. He'd freeze a moment to snatch an extra donut from a bakery tray, to whisper the right answer into his ear during a tense meeting, to steal a fleeting, intimate glance at a stranger on the subway. The world was his personal playground, a static diorama he could manipulate at will. He was a god in his own small, frozen kingdom, a master of moments. But his divine reign soon began to show cracks. It started subtly, a flicker at the edge of his vision when time was still. He would catch a glimpse of a dark, elongated shadow stretching unnaturally from the corner of a building. Gong when he turned to look. His own reflection in mirrors and shop windows would sometimes distort for a split second, his smile twisting into a silent, screaming grimace. The silent world, once a source of infinite power, was becoming a canvas for something deeply unsettling. The air in these frozen moments grew heavy, thick with a palpable sense of being watched. The playful thrill curdled into a cold, creeping dread. The shadows were becoming more defined, no longer fleeting tricks of the light, but deliberate. Lingering presences just beyond his focus. He began to fear stopping the watch. But the temptation, the addiction to control, was too strong to resist. The climax came on a grey, overcast afternoon. He had frozen time to avoid a collision with a speeding cyclist. A routine act of temporal intervention. But when he tried to restart the world, the crown of the watch wouldn't turn. It was stuck. Panin seized him as he twisted and pulled, his frantic efforts yielding nothing but the cold, unmoving metal against his skin. The world was trapped, a permanent, silent photograph. And then they appeared. From the corners of his eyes, from the depths of darkened alleyways and the obscured interiors of cars, they began to emerge. Ghostly figures, their forms distorted and stretched like melting wax, oozed into his static reality. They were the shadows he had glimpsed, now given terrifying substance. They moved with a slow, deliberate purpose, their silent, featureless faces all turned towards him. They were closing in. Arthur stumbled backward, his breath catching in a choked sob that made no sound in the frozen air. The city, his former playground, had become a prison. Its frozen citizens the unseeing audience to his final, horrifying performance. The figures glided closer, their misshapen hands reaching, their presence a vortex of absolute cold and ancient hunger. His face, reflected in the glass of a frozen bus stop, was a mask of pure, unadulterated horror. The world remained deathly still, a silent tomb. The only sound was the relentless, maddening, and now deafeningly loud ticking of the cursed watch, counting down the last seconds of his sanity as the darkness finally reached out to claim him.